Strap in, brace yourself, breaking news. It was breaking at like noon. It's kind of broke at this point. But if you haven't heard it, if that's the case, you heard it here first. Oregon is getting a 6th congressional seat. No, don't stop the video or change the channel. It's important. I swear, we'll make it interesting. See, right now, Oregon is split up like this. This is the map. And you see all those different chunks there. They're different sizes. But even though they're different sizes and they look a lot different on the map, they all have the same number of people living in each one. The populations are equal. And that means that when we add the 6th congressional seat, they will have to change all of those lines, maybe significantly, because all of the districts, including the new one, will have to have the same population. Interesting, right? No? You're not that into it? Well, perhaps I should add, there might be some drama. Gotcha now, right? I talked to some of the Oregon lawmakers in charge of drawing the new lines. Now, this is something they do every 10 years after the census, but it's usually more of a tweak. We haven't added a new district in like 40 years. Now, the reason we're getting a new seat is pretty simple. Lots of people moved to Oregon in the past decade. According to the 2020 census, our population jumped more than 10%, from 3.8 million to 4.2 million people. This is meaningful, especially when you consider Oregon's power in national politics, on the national stage. We gained a seat in Congress, while many other states actually lost one, like California and Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and wild and wonderful West Virginia. Now back to the drama part. See, Democrats, they have the power in Salem. They outnumber Republicans, and they hold 4 out of those 5 seats on the map. Let's go back to the interview that I did with the members of the redistricting committee, including Republican Senator Tim Knopp, when I asked him about the possibility of Democrats stacking the deck.
Bipartisanship, or a lack thereof, rather, is something that a lot of people are kind of concerned with, specifically Republicans in the state. The Democrats are going to draw the lines in a way that will box Republicans out more than they feel they are currently. So, Senator Knopp, how do you address the Republicans in this state who have some concerns about that outcome?
Well, I would simply say that the U.S. Census data is going to be what it is. And with the technology that exists today for the software to draw these programs, everyone, including the legislature, the media, and the public, will have access to the same system. And so if the lines aren't being drawn in a fair and reasonable way and a legal way, it will be obvious to everyone.
Now, I should mention, this doesn't just apply to the congressional maps, all right, and who we send to D.C., but it's also all 90 legislative districts. Lawmakers know this is a touchy subject. The House has actually agreed to have equal representation in the committee process, which is a pretty big deal. Republicans don't often get to play on an even playing field, but don't think that means everything will be smooth sailing. See, some people in the GOP think that one of the reasons the playing field isn't even is because the game is rigged by the way the lines have been drawn up until now. House Minority Leader Republican Christine Drazan said in a statement recently, our current maps have favored one political party over another for the past 20 years. But Oregonians can be confident that this 6th congressional district will be drawn according to the rules to give people fair representation. She also said, now that we have equal representation on the redistricting committee, our legislative and congressional districts will be drawn in a way that avoids political gerrymandering. So it seems like everyone has an even say in this, except for the fact that Democrats do have a secret weapon, more of a kind of a release the Kraken kind of option. If lawmakers cannot come to an agreement, well then the job will go to Shemia Fagan, the Secretary of State, a liberal Democrat. And Republicans really don't want that job to go to a Democrat. Frankly, Democrats really don't want that job to go to her either, but they'd be a lot more comfortable, let's just say, if it did.